Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball here today with another Pokemon TCG Online video, and today I'm going to be doing a daily challenge, and this challenge has, we either can knock out 24 opposing Pokemon with our Psychic Pokemon, or we can leave 20 opposing Pokemon confused. And I don't know, can we do both? I'm not sure if this has been tested, but I'm just going to play a Psychic deck that does both anyways. And this is going to be a little bit of a throwback. I'm going to be doing a Chandelier deck. And this is a deck that I've already showcased on my channel, so I'm not going to cover it in terms of the deck analysis. So I'm just going to go ahead and play. And win or lose, we just want to see if we can, if we're able to do the mission, right? So if we can pull it off, we can put a bunch of Pokemon confused, get them confused. If we can, do a variety of things here, and it looks like we're going to be playing a Yveltal and some kind of Mega Manectric deck. It looks like we do get to draw into a couple more cards, so that's good stuff there. Oh no, it's going to be a Seismitoad deck. And that means I might as well play all of my stuff right now. Let's go ahead and I'm going to discard, let's take a look here. I'm actually weak against darkness, so what I'd like to do at the very least is, I'd like to, let's take a look here. Let's get the Mewtwo. I think Mewtwo is pretty good. Let's take a look at our deck in general. We have a variety of different cards here. Let's take a look at everything really quick. Alright, just really at a really quick glance, we should be okay. Let's just go ahead. We'll go with the Mewtwo. And here is the Mewtwo. We can always play Dimension Valley, but I'm going to hang on to that. And let's go ahead. We're going to end the turn. I don't want to get Quaking Punched right away, so we're just going to end the turn there. What's going to happen next, what I'd like to do is I'd like to play the Mystery Energy, the Dimension Valley, and Lysander out the Seismitoad and get them confused. That would be pretty sweet. We'll just do Eerie Glow right away. The defending Pokemon is burned and confused. And I'd rather deal with the Seismitoad than deal with the Darkrai, at least for now. So my opponent goes for the retreat anyways, so that means we don't have to waste our time with the Lysander, and we can just go ahead and take care of the Seismitoad. But as of right now, I think I'm a little concerned. It seems like my opponent is going to be powering up the Darkrai, so I'm actually going to opt to take care of the Darkrai first, right? So let's go ahead, we're going to do that, and let's just go for the Eerie Glow. And there is some resistance, but, that's okay. And my opponent is burned, was able to flip heads. My opponent just does the retreat, and that's it. So right now, the Darkrai should be in knockout range, more or less, if only my opponent could flip tails. So that's really what I wanted to do. I'd prefer to do that. And my opponent goes for a Colress for 3, and there's an Yveltal. So I better be pretty careful right now. The Darkrai can be a pretty big nuisance. But anyways, as of right now, I think I might just go and play it slow and maybe just play the Skyla. Or I can play the Juniper. The reason why I would play a Skyla is probably just play for a Professor's Letter, get the energy drop, and kind of go on from there. So I can definitely play a Juniper. But you know what? I'm going to play the Skyla. And let's take a look at this really quick. My opponent has a Muscle Band, and maybe we can go for a Crushing Hammer. That'd be pretty good. Do we have no, we don't. We don't have the Professor's Letter. So that's a little inconvenient. I'm going to go ahead and just play the Crushing Hammer. And hopefully we flip heads. That would be great if we do. And no, we don't. So let's just go for the Eerie Glow. I could go for a Curse Drop and put this Darkrai into knockout range. And I might just do that. But you know what, let's just go for the Eerie Glow, and that would be a 2-hit knockout onto the Seismitoad. Otherwise, the next turn I might just go for an Eerie Drop. My opponent does go and play a Switch, and there it is. My opponent goes for a Hypnotoxic Laser. So now I really regret not playing the... Oh boy, there is the Mewtwo there. Okay, so at the very least... let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end my opponent down. And we do get... it's not necessary to play the Garbodor. So I'm going to discard this. And let's just go ahead. Let's go with the Mystery Energy, I guess. We don't play any DCEs here, so that's a little bit inconvenient. And I'm going to go with just an X-Ball. That resistance. So this should be a knockout on the next turn. And, I mean, that's all we can really hope for. I think I ended up discarding the wrong thing. My opponent was able to get heads, and, man, I really just need to make this Darkrai confused. I need to start knocking out some Pokemon. So this is a little bit of a mismatch with the Chandelure being Darkness weak. And my opponent was able to play the Colress. We see the Manectric come out into play as well. There it is. Hopefully Mewtwo wakes up, and there my Mewtwo does wake up, and this could be a knockout here. But you know, let's go ahead. We're just gonna go with this, and might as well even play the Float Stone here. I'm gonna go with the Juniper, and we get a Crushing Hammer. It didn't really matter. I'm not really focused right now, but let's just go ahead and go with the X-Ball. That should take out the Darkrai. And we'll take the 2 prizes here. Here's a Garbodor. We even get a Enhanced Hammer that's absolutely useless. The Eviltal would be able to get an energy back. I think my opponent's going to go for Skyla for maybe a Professor's Letter. Ideally, what I'd like to do is just bring out the Chandelure and confuse my opponent. My opponent would get an energy back onto the Eviltals. Otherwise, I'm just going to go and play the N. I mean, this is pretty good. Just playing it really slow. My opponent has the prize lead, but again, our goal here is to knock Pokemon out if possible. And we're not, I mean, yeah, we're trying to win, but so... Alright, let's catch up here. I'm going to go ahead and just bring out the Seismitoad. I'm going to play this here. Didn't really need to do that, but let's just go for the Eerie Glow. I want to finish off the Seismitoad, and we'll be tied in prizes. So my opponent can power up the Manectric. We'll get hit for 60, potentially 100 if we see something like a Muscle Band. But my opponent goes for a VS Seeker. We could see the Skylick or an N. Never mind, we see a Colress. I'm going to go ahead and play the N and my opponent down to 2. We do see the Manectric Spirit Link. Nice to know. We have a Starling Megaphone, and if I can confuse this Eviltal, that would be spectacular. So there it is. There's the confusion. Let's go ahead, and yes, we were able to flip for heads. And I actually want to get rid of this because my opponent can actually knock out the Chandelure since I have a Muscle Band attached. And otherwise, I'm just going to go for the N. Yep, and here we go. Let's go ahead. We'll play this on to this Chandelure. And let's just go ahead. We'll go with the Eerie Glow. Hopefully my opponent hurts themselves on the confusion if they attempt to attack. These Enhanced Hammers are pretty useless as of right now. But yeah, we see the Escape Rope. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to promote the Chandelure here with the energy. Probably shouldn't have done that, but oh no, it is over. It didn't really matter. But anyways, hey, what matters here is that we got a nice little gift. We see here we were able to knock out some, and look at that, we're even able to confuse some. So let's take a look at this Chandelure deck. Oh man, let's see. We did lose, but what matters is if we can get this, both these daily challenges done in one shot, and that would be really cool if we were able to do it all together. So here it is, a blue golf ball here with the Psychic deck we're playing against. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm not even focused right now. All I want to do is just make people confused. I'm confused, for crying out loud. Okay, so we start off pretty good, actually. Get a Chandelure. We don't get to go second, so we can't really attack right away. Oh my goodness, these Zubats. I'm actually gonna. I'm a little disappointed. My opponent is playing a Zubat without the free retreat. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let's just play this here. I don't want to deal with this Zubat. So let's go ahead. We're just gonna get rid of him right now. And I don't want to deal with the Zubat's abilities, so let's just go ahead and I'm going to discard probably these. I'm going to play the Crushing Hammer in the next turn. I want to get the Garbodor going, that way my opponent won't be able to use those silly sneaky bites and whatnot. And there we go. In the next turn, we should be able to play Crushing Hammer, assuming my opponent's going to play an energy drop. My opponent can still do Skill Dive, and that would do 10 to the Trubbish or something like that. But we see a Scoop Up. Hopefully that was Tails, but no, never mind. My opponent was able to scoop it up. And here we go. My opponent's going to go for the Ultra Ball for another Zubat and a Sycamore. And yeah, my opponent did burn at least one scoop up versus my opponent probably plays 4 of them. But otherwise, oh my goodness, another bat. So many bats everywhere. Bats. I don't care. Oh man, here we go. Let's go with the crushing hammer. That failed, and I'm gonna go and play the juniper. The question is, do I want to play escape rope and then whiff on the float stone? In hindsight, maybe I should, but let's just go for it. And thank goodness I did not. Let's go ahead and we'll play this right here. Able to discard the energy, and it will evolve into the Garbodor. We do have the VS Seeker to play the Lysander or Juniper. Most likely we'll go for the Juniper. And I'm just gonna go with a Curse Drop. Let's go ahead and just kind of spread this damage here. So right now, all 3 of these are in knockout range for our Curse Drop. So that's kind of the plan there. And my opponent does heal 1, so that's kind of a waste. But anyways, my opponent does evolve, and oh my goodness, my opponent's going to be targeting the Garbodor. What I'd like to do is take out, oh my goodness, my opponent even gets a scoop up. So my Garbodor here will be down to 20 HP by the end of the turn, unless my opponent gets another Golbat. That would actually knock out my opponent with an overrun. And so my poor little Garbodor here is really taking a beating. And so I'm gonna go ahead, we're just gonna go for the Juniper. I desperately need to get an energy drop. I do get another one of these crushing hammers, and that's actually pretty nice. So with the overrun being super annoying, I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna shut off the abilities right now, and let's go and just power up this right here. I'm going to discard the Mewtwo and the N, and I'm going to go ahead and get out this Mr. Mime just to protect the bench and keep the Garbodor safe. So let's go for the Curse Drop, and let's finish off this bat at the very least. So at least we got 1 prize off of that. We even get our 3rd Chandelure. And right now, this Chandelure is doing pretty well. I mean, we've been doing very well, discarding 2 energies off of those flipping heads. This is actually a really good game for us. If we can start confusing them, that'd be great. Oh my goodness, my opponent was able to Lysander the Garbodor. That's pretty devastating. Now I need to get another Trubbish going, and there's 20 right there on the Mr. Mime somehow. How did my opponent... Oh, yeah, that's right, because the Garbodor... Dang it. The Mr. Mime wouldn't even work anyways. That's silly. What was I thinking? Oh, boy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to play this here, and I'm going to end up... Let's just discard 1 of each, and let's get another Garbodor. Let's get another Trubbish going. We don't actually get the Trubbish. Oh, man, that's a little disappointing. But what I can do here is go for the Dimension Valley. I want to counter the stadium so that way my opponent doesn't heal. And here we go. Let's just go ahead and we'll do the Eerie Glow. There we go. And that is a burn. Take that, Manectric. Burn. Feel the burn, baby. Now I totally regret playing the energy drop on this Chandelure, but you never know. My opponent can always counter the stadium. So in the next turn, I'm going to go ahead and just play the energy onto this Chandelure. I'm going to save this energy here. Yeah, man, these bats are super annoying. My opponent needs another energy, but hopefully my opponent flips tails. That'll be really nice. My opponent even throws in a muscle band, and I highly regret. I absolutely regret. Yeah, not playing the energy. And look at that, my opponent confuses himself, and luckily he didn't get burned. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and times like these, I will play Juniper. And oh boy, alrighty, here we go. We get the muscle band as well, and I'm just gonna go ahead and my opponent. Let's just go with the Eerie Glow, and I'll finish off this this Manectric. Anyways, here's our Trubbish. Let's take a look here. How many VS Seekers? I got 2 VS Seekers. Oh man, both my VS Seekers are gone, so I'm playing with a very thin hand. And here, oh, thank you, a Lysander trump card. I definitely needed that. Thank you. And here is the 50. My Chandelure is still alive here, and I was able to top deck a Garbodor. I'm going to go ahead, let's just power up this one here. My opponent was able to do a skill dive without needing anything whatsoever. My opponent can still hit the bench, but you know what, let's go ahead. We will retreat here, and let's go with the Eerie Glow. And my opponent is now, and look, that even takes the burn. My opponent is confused, so that will definitely need to retreat. My opponent would need something like a scoop up to really try to take advantage of the Crobat in a situation without getting knocked out. I'm just going to go for a curse drop in the next turn and finish off the Crobat. I'm expecting to see the Crobat retreat right about now. And the one thing that's a bit of a bummer is that we don't have lasers. I think that'd be really cool if we can do 3 statuses with the laser as well. That'd be pretty sweet. My opponent promotes the Zubat, and we get hit for 10. And that's all she wrote. Let's go ahead. We'll even play the Garbodor. I'm going to go and get the Float Stone here. And so we're in really good shape right now. I'm going to go ahead and just power up this other Chandelure as well. And you know what? Let's just go for the Curse Drop. We'll finish this one here, and we'll spread these damage out on the bats. And there we go. So this bat right now is in knockout range, and so is this one. If this one decides to retreat, we just spread the damage a little bit. I decided not to play the damage on the Manectrics because my opponent can always just counter the stadium and heal them off anyway. So this Chandelure should, well, it won't be protected anymore since the Garbodor counters it. And this Mr. Mime is kind of a waste of space right now, but it's all right. All right, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to take out this Golbat. I think this Golbat's a little bit more of a threat. So let's just do that right now. And let's go with the Eerie Glow. It's now confused as well, and there we have it. Hopefully that's a number of Pokemon that we just knocked out right now. If I can knock out another one, that would be spectacular. Anyways, my opponent right now can still do a number of things here. We can see something like an Ether plus, I don't know, Lightning Energy, and then a Switch, and then we get hit for, and a Muscle Band, then we get hit for 140 plus Laser. That would be a knockout. Again, the Golbat doesn't work. The Garbodor is active right now. We see an energy drop on the Manectric EX over here, and then the retreat. The Manectric here can hit us for 20, and that's about it. And 20 for the one on the bench. So, what to do here? I mean, this one's going to be, it's basically going to be knocked out, and my opponent will take 2 prizes. And so, might as well. I mean, I have a bunch of Junipers. I'm just going to go for the attack. Oh, yeah, let's just go for the Curse Drop. We'll just finish the game here. And we'll take the victory. I did actually want to confuse. That way we can get the confusion. That's why I hesitated. Because I want to confuse Pokemon right here. So, look at that. We were able to knock out a bunch of Pokemon. And let's take a look at this. We were able to confuse a bunch of more Pokemon as well. And we are on our way to completing this mission. This is taking a while, actually. I usually try to get this done under 30 minutes, but we're already way past the halfway point, and we're not at the halfway point for our goal in terms of what we want with the challenge, daily challenge. Here we go. We will be playing against, it looks like a Lightning, Psych, not Psych, I mean Darkness, and something rather deck. My opponent has some interesting sleeves to go with the box that he has. I don't remember, I was just clicking away. I wasn't even thinking about who's going first, and my opponent gets to go first. We start off with a Chandelure. That's actually pretty solid if we had an energy. And here's another Chandelure. I'm going to hang on to that. My opponent has an Yveltal EX. Oh, man, we are in a really bad shape here. And I don't even get an energy drop. And I don't even flip heads. Oh, man. I think if we see the DCE, it's over. We even see a Silent Lab. And that's 160. Leaving things to chance right now. That's not good. Let's go ahead. We will... Either way, I'm gonna get knocked out. Okay, well, might as well. This is Curse Drop. Yeah, take that, Yveltal. Take 4 damage. And shucks. Here is a Master Ball. We see a Manectric. So this is gonna be an Yveltal Manectric deck with a Master Ball. We see a Spirit Link as well. There it is. If we're really lucky, I can Lysandre it out the Manectric. And alright, so you know what? I'm gonna counter the stadium, and let's just go with the Juniper. There we go. We're gonna just try to live dangerously here, folks. Living dangerously. I'm gonna let this Chandelure get sacrificed, and that's it. I'm gonna end the turn. The Chandelure here in the next turn, if I can top deck an energy card, I'm gonna play an N. and probably just try to top deck. That's, oh wow, that's 2 Garbodors and 2 Chandeliers in the discard pile. My opponent, hopefully, oh my goodness, my opponent plays. It is over. We just got demolished, and I'm just gonna end the turn. More power to you, buddy. I mean, darn, we just totally wasted some time. Due to time, I'm just gonna say GG. Obviously, he won, and I'm gonna have to quit because we need to get done. What's with all these darkness decks, man? I really want to try to beat this under 30 minutes. We got 10 minutes. Can we do it? Can we knock out, what is it, 24 or whatever it is? 20, make 20 Pokemon confused. Okay, we're playing against Jay, and it's gonna be a. Oh my goodness, what's with these dark decks? This guy's got a darkness. Lightning and something rather, and oh my goodness, this is not even fun anymore. We start off with the Chandelier. We do get the energy here as well. So, I mean, we're off to a decent start. We can play the Crushing Hammer. We got the Dimension Valley. We can play the Juniper to get another energy. We can go with the Curse Drop in the next turn, or the Eerie Glow, I mean. So, alright, so we are at like the 21-minute mark. Let's go ahead. Hopefully the opponent doesn't play any DCEs. I'm going to end the turn. We see a Darkrai EX. We see an Yveltal. Don't play Enhanced Hammer. Did I say DC? I meant Enhanced Hammer. For some reason, I think Enhanced Hammers and DCEs are interchangeable because every time there's an DCE, there's always an Enhanced Hammer that just, oh my goodness, get rid of these Enhanced Hammers. We see a Computer Search. We see the Colress in a Silent Lab. Please don't show me Enhanced Hammer. Maybe if you play an N, I don't mind that either. But I really like my hand right now. If you don't play an N, that's spectacular. If you play an N, I guess you play an N. We see the Manectric. We see a Skyla, so our hand is safe, at least for now. We can have some control in the game. We see our opponent go for a Professor's Letter. I really need to get this turn to Dimension Valley. Wow, my opponent goes for 2 Lightning Energies. That's very interesting. We don't see it on the Yveltal. And alright, let's just go for the Crushing. Oh, never mind, that didn't happen. And let's go for this and go for the Juniper. We get another Crushing Hammer. Please get heads. And yes, we were able to get the job done. Let's go with this here. We'll go with the Eerie Glow. My opponent has the resistance, I think. Nope, never mind. The Darkrai has the resistance. My opponent was able to flip heads for the burn. Darn it. And my opponent concedes the match. At least we were able to confuse something. Oh, I'll take the confusion. Look at that. And we are, I don't know, guys. I'm trying to be hopeful here if we can make the 30-minute mark, but I doubt it. I mean, I have other challenges out there that way exceeded the 30-minute mark, but plus we're doing 2 challenges, so really we have an hour to get it done. But here we go. We actually get to go first. That's good stuff. We start with the Chandelier. I might play the Ultra Ball for another Chandelier or for a Mewtwo. And oh my goodness, what's with these? We see a Sandile. I have a Garbodor here. I'm just going to go ahead and play this, and I mean, we can, I don't know anymore. I mean, we can go ahead and get a Mewtwo. We can go ahead and, man. Oh boy. Alright, let's just go ahead, and I'm going to discard these. Maybe not. Let's discard the Enhanced Hammer and the Lysander. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm gonna get the Trubbish. Times like these, I wish I had the. It's just trump card everything in. Okay, so there we go, and we'll end the turn. Times like these, I wish I had a Jirachi. If we had a Jirachi, boy, would that make my day. We have a Garbodor. I probably shouldn't have played this. I probably should have just played for another, maybe like a Mewtwo. I think that would be pretty good. And here we go. My opponent goes for a Hypnotoxic Laser. What? Oh, the cruelty. That is just wrong. Why would you do that? Don't do that. He even plays a Sycamore. Oh, man, we see this Krokorok, whatever. Two VS Seekers. All right, we need a top deck. We need to top deck a Juniper. All right. Very unlikely to happen, but at least we woke up. Let's see the Juniper. Oh my goodness, we top decked the Juniper, and we flipped tails. But that's okay with me. Here is the Juniper. We get another chance to flip heads, and it was tails. Oh man, that is tragic. Let's see here. So I'm actually going to opt to retreat. I'm not going to attack right now. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to just let this Garbodor be a sacrifice. And I'm going to go ahead and play VS Seeker. I will play the energy. Well, what I really want to do is probably just go for the Skyla, get the Stadium out, and go from there. You know, I guess the energy drop can wait. Wow, that was pretty cool. I totally called it. I had no idea that Juniper was going to show up, and it showed up. That was pretty great. Anyways, we see the Ultra Ball. We see a Hypnotoxic Laser, another Sandile in the discard pile. My opponent can definitely get something like a DCE, and that would knock us out. That'll knock out the Garbodor. With just an energy drop, that would actually knock us out as well. That'd be 1, 2, 3. This is going to be knocking out the poor Garbodor. But you know what? I don't really mind. I don't think my opponent plays any abilities anyway. So the Garbodor is going to be giving up. Oh, never mind. The Garbodor does not knock out, so that's good. We see another Chandelure here, and I'm going to go ahead and power this up. Let's go ahead and get the Dimension Valley. This is good stuff right here. And next turn, we can just go for the Juniper, and let's go for the Eerie Glow. Again, my opponent can knock us out in one shot, but my opponent has to flip heads to do it. And we have a Chandelure powered up. We have the VS Seeker here. We can definitely knock this Yveltal in the next turn if we can get like a DCE or something. If we can get a Muscle Band. Or if my opponent can flip Tails on the burn, that'd be pretty nice. We see the Crocodile here. My opponent even gets a Sycamore of his own. We see the Colress and another Hypnotoxic. Well, the Hypnotoxic is already in there. We see a Sneasel, so that's always good news. All these little non-EXs, I don't mind dealing with them at all. My opponent right now has a decision to make. Either he retreats or he goes and attempts to do the Evil Ball. We could see something like a Y-Cyclone, but if my opponent flips Tails, then he would end up hurting himself, and then I would just go ahead and take advantage of this and go for the knockout. My opponent plays a Muscle Band on the Crocodile as well, and there it is. My opponent goes for the retreat. We could see a Piston Headbutt, moving energy attached to the defending Pokemon. Oh my goodness, hits us for 100 damage because of the weakness. And okay, so here we go. My opponent moves the energy onto the Garbodor. Oh, how inconvenient is that? I'm gonna go ahead and play the retreat here. Let's go for the Juniper, and oh my goodness, we missed it. And I'm gonna attempt to at least thin out my hand a little bit. Let's just go for the Curse Drop. We should be able to Curse Drop the Yveltal in 2 turns. Otherwise, my opponent can play a Max Potion, and then that'd be pretty devastating. Or my opponent can use a Scoop Up Cyclone or a Super Scoop Up. Regardless, we have a huge type disadvantage right now. I really need to get a Mewtwo going. My opponent gets a Hammer in and actually finishes off the Chandelure. But alright, so off this end, what would be really nice is if I can get, so I'm gonna get the Mewtwo out here. If I can get just 1 energy, I think I'll take that. So let's go ahead. We'll play this right here, and we were able to get it. And I'll even play this here. You know what? I'm gonna hang on to that. And all right, let's just play this here, and hopefully we can confuse my opponent. My opponent does have the resistance, and my opponent even flipped Tails for the burn. So if my opponent attempts to attack, hopefully my opponent flips Tails and even flips Tails for the burn. That would actually finish off this Crocodile, and then I can just go for an Eerie Drop. But that's a huge wish list right there. Flipping twice, 2 Tails. I'm going to cross my fingers. If my opponent flips Tails twice, oh, that would be absolutely gorgeous. My opponent hits himself for the confusion, and then hurts himself for the burn. And oh my goodness, my opponent, oh, that was too great. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna finish off this Yveltal now with the Curse Drop. Oh my goodness, that made my day. That was so great. I don't even care if I lose right now. Oh man, oh, that is just too funny, way too funny. All right, before we go down to 3 prizes, what I'd like to do is I might as well just get rid of these Floatstones. I don't really need to see them anymore. Maybe I could have just gone with 1. But anyways, let's get another Chandelure, a fresh Chandelure. That'd be pretty good. Otherwise, I could go with an energy drop, but hopefully I can top deck that. But let's get another Chandelure going, and let's go for the N. I'd rather end my opponent down to 4 and ourselves to 5. Or we can VS Seeker for a Juniper or a Lysander. I'm going to go with the N. And this is pretty good. We get a start on the Megaphone. No need to do that. No need to play the Hammer as well. Let's go ahead. I'm actually going to power up. I'm going to opt to power up the the Chandelure. So let's go with the Eerie Glow. We want to confuse him, right? So there we go. We just go with the Eerie Glow. And I'll take the 3 prizes there. We get another Chandelure off the prizes. We even get another Dimension Valley in case my opponent counters our Stadium. And the Inkay comes out. My opponent won't be able to attack with his Weavile. Only can do Call for Family. The Inkay here evolves. We can see a Mental Panic. That would finish us off. My opponent plays an N. And oh, this is too good to be true. We actually get End into another Psychic Energy, and all I want to do is just make this Malamar confused. If we can confuse this Malamar, that would be hilarious, and we'll get a 2-hit knockout here on the Malamar. So, I mean, I could promote the Mewtwo, but I think the Malamar has Psychic Resistance anyway. And here we go. Too bad my opponent doesn't have a DCE or something like that. Let's go ahead. We'll just go with the Eerie Glow. And there it is. A 2-hit knockout coming up. My opponent does flip heads, but if my opponent flips tails on the Confusion, that would be super lucky, and then we'll take out the Malamar. Otherwise, my opponent would still need my opponent would need something like a DCE and a Muscle Band. That would knock out the Chandelure. If not, even with the DCE, that would be a little bit short. My opponent would be doing 140 damage. I would just go ahead and finish off this Malamar. You know, I can even play the Enhance Hammer, but that wouldn't be really necessary since I would be knocking out the Malamar. So gotta wait and see. We see a Muscle Band on the Weavile. It's gonna take 2 turns to power up to see a Claw Rend from this Weavile. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my time. Let's see if my opponent would still need the Muscle Band. My opponent played the Muscle Band on the Weavile instead. If my opponent had the DCE to win the game, my opponent would need to play the Muscle Band on the Malamar plus a DCE, and then that would actually, and also flip heads for the Confusion. So it's, you know, those are kind of risky mathematics right there, you know, trying to get everything in order. My opponent does have a decent hand size with 6, and we see a Computer Search discarding the N and an Ultra Ball. My opponent deciding not to play an N to end himself to 2, which is a good thing. Let's take a look at our discard pile really quick. We have both our VS Seekers in the discard pile. We have our Lysander's trump card in there as well. And we see the Lysander, the Skyla, the Juniper, and the N. So we have 2 Ns and 3 Junipers in the deck still. I mean, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with what we can draw. My opponent right here getting to draw something from there. We see a Hypnotoxic Laser flipping for tails. Now remember, we do have the free retreat, and we gotta wait and see if my opponent counters the Stadium with something like a Verbank City Gym. That would be very devastating. My opponent plays a Sycamore, now down to 15 cards. Anything can happen here, folks. We can still see Verbank City Gym plus the DCE. My opponent hasn't played the energy drop yet, and so anything can still happen. Hopefully, my opponent missed the energy drop. That would be very devastating for my opponent, and we could see the Mental Panic here for 60 plus Poison. That's 70. We see a DCE on the Houndour, and that is pretty sweet. My opponent does hit us for 60, but takes the burn, and here we go. I'm just going to get rid of that right now, and I'm going to go for the Juniper. We even get some of these, but you know what? That's not necessary. And let's take a look here. I do have the Muscle Band, so I will be doing some damage. I'm going to go ahead and retreat and take away this poison here. We do have a switch if needed. I'm going to go for the X-Ball, hitting for 40 with even the resistance. That would do the job. We have a Lysander. We can bring out the Houndour or the Weavile, whichever one's weaker, which would be the Houndour. And even with the Psychic Resistance, we should be able to finish the job, I think. Oh, darn, I don't have a Muscle Band. I forgot about that. The Houndour gets promoted. We could see something like a Roar. It doesn't matter. Both these guys can retreat for free, and the Roar wouldn't be doing any damage anyway. So the Weavile, I think it might be a target. I'd like to target the Weavile. We have 2 Crushing Hammers here. What I'd like to see is if we can get another energy. That'd be pretty cool. My opponent actually plays the Ultra Ball, discarding what it looks like a VS Seeker and another Sandile. And this is a pure dark deck. We only saw 1 Yveltal EX. It looks like we didn't really see anything else besides the Yveltal. Otherwise, maybe there's 2 more Yveltals and both of them are prized. I'm not sure. We could see a Dark Lamp in the next turn. But regardless, hopefully my opponent doesn't play any energies here, and I can kind of dodge a bullet to take advantage of this, I would be only doing, the sad thing is I'm only doing 20 damage, wow, with the resistance. So I would just go for the retreat and kind of risk it with these Chandelure, and you know, take it all up to chance. And oh, here is the DCE, and that means the Mewtwo would be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 60 damage, I guess. Let's go ahead. We'll go with the Crushing Hammer. If I can't do the Crushing Hammer, I was able to do that, so I'm actually gonna opt to go with this. I feel a little more safer, and we could go with the Colress, but I'm just gonna hang on to my hand, and let's go with the Eerie Glow. Look at that, hitting for 50. Even with the resistance, we should get a 2-hit knockout, and my opponent even flips Tails, so we should be pretty safe here. My opponent can still retreat, play an energy, and retreat to the Weavile, but that would be his energy drop for the turn, and then we can just attack the Weavile, or we can Lysander out the Houndoom and just kind of finish him off. So we are way past the time in terms of what we want, but it is what it is, and this was this was great. I can't believe we were able to pull all this off. We were able to. My opponent does burn the energy and switches into the Weavile, but little as you know, we have the Lysander, which we can just bring out the Houndoom, and my opponent promotes Lysander's out the Mewtwo. And you know what? I don't mind that at all. Let's just go ahead. We'll start on the Megaphone, and I'll bring this out, and we'll just finish him off. Hitting for the 20. Oh, wait a second. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the Mewtwo. Oh, my goodness. I forgot the resistance. But that's all right. My opponent plays the energy. We can see my opponent retreat once again, and I do have a Juniper that I can take advantage of, or a Colress. We could call us for 3, but you know what? I don't know. We're going to call us for 3. I'm feeling pretty good, and we do get another energy. I'm going to go ahead and side drive here and taking out the Weavile. And we should have enough 20 damage. We'll do the trick against this Houndoom, unless my opponent plays a Whale Lord or something like that and then retreats into it. That would be pretty cool. But that doesn't happen. My opponent's down to 3 cards playing that Sycamore, and that's the reason why I didn't play my Juniper. I didn't really want to have put ourselves in a position where we'll deck ourselves out. We have another Dimension Valley, so that's really nice. My opponent will need a retreat, probably into the Yveltal. Otherwise, I guess I'll just go with the X-Ball. I don't know, it's only doing 40 damage, but X-Ball it is, and my opponent even gets a Muscle Band there, and we do get an N. I will end myself to 1, putting myself to 2. If we see a DCE, let's take a look at how many DCEs we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 DCEs. So this Enhanced Hammer is pretty useless. Hopefully my opponent will miss the energy drop. We'll take at least 2 turns for the Yveltal to get ready, unless my opponent has an Ether. I always say Ether. Ether is in every episode of mine almost. We see the other Yveltal here. We see my opponent play a Colress, and my opponent decks himself out. All I need to do is pass the turn, and that's it. That's all I need to do. And so that's a little tragic. I kind of wish we might as well just do this. I need a retreat. I wanted to confuse. Let's just confuse. I need the confusion. That's all I need. I just need the confusion. I apologize. I look like a jerk attacking him at the end. I just want the confusion, man. Okay, so here we go. Knocking out. Oh man. This is going to be. Oh my goodness. I didn't see. I actually didn't see how far we got with the confusion, so we're way past the time. And oh, hey, we're almost there. So at some point we will get these confusions done. So let's go ahead. We'll play the Chandelure again. We're gonna start confusing all of our Pokemons, our opponents, and we'll try to even knock some out. So no one has the advantage here. Sealed Steven is playing a Fire type deck. And here we go. Wow, that last battle was so long. We start off with a Trubbish, and we even get Dimension Valleys. That's a little inconvenient. Dimension Valleys with Juniper does not sell really well. And we see a Scorched Earth. I'm going to go ahead and just counter that straight up, and no questions asked. We can actually do a Pound. The thing with these camera up is usually they take a little while to power up, and so I feel pretty safe. I mean, my opponent in turn 2 can actually knock us out. If my opponent was able to do Tumbling Attack plus Muscle Band, that could actually do the trick, being able to flip for heads for 60 damage plus Muscle Band 80. That would knock out our Trubbish. But you know what? At this point of the game, I don't really care. And so, oh, here is a DCE on the camera ups right away. If only we had that enhanced hammer. We see the dowsing machine. My opponent discards a Team Magma camera up as well as a VS Seeker. The dowsing machine probably going for the acro bike, and my opponent drawing into another card. Very convenient. And another camera up in the discard pile. We see a Team Magma's Numo. We all see the blacksmith. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be GG. Oh wow, that's funny. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We are gonna pound it. Oh no, are you kidding me? Okay, let's go with this. At least we were able to get one. So what I'm gonna do is this is just silly. We are gonna pound this. I'm just messing around at this point. I know I shouldn't do this, but I mean in the next turn, look at that, pound for 40. Yes sir, we got 5 turns to go and we can finish off this camera up. And oh, this is just silly. My opponent had the DCE. Ah, darn it. All right, you know what? This is the first challenge that I'm gonna call it quits here. This is already like over 40 minutes of an episode, and let's take a look at this challenge really quick. We were not able to do it. We were not able to get it done in 30 minutes. We came so close, but I guess this will have to be it for today. This is the first time I couldn't finish a challenge for you guys. So boo-hoo, but you know what? Hey, it was a ton of fun, and I really enjoyed playing the Chandelier deck just for funsies. But hopefully you guys enjoy the video. If you're new to this channel, feel free to subscribe, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. You guys all take care. Have a wonderful day. See you later. Goodbye.